Hey loves, it's Celine and welcome back to my channel, and for today's video I am so excited to finally share with you guys the final reveal of our formal living room. If you guys are struggling to redecorate a space in your home, I want to share with you guys the steps that we took and what we did in order to make it super cost effective and also get exactly what we wanted. I will also be sharing with you guys how I decorate every little space, and I'm so excited because today's video is in partnership with the makers of Glade, and I love this partnership. I have been working with them for the past year, and every single time they have a new limited edition fragrance release, I get so excited because I want to know what it smells like. I have one burning in the background right now. Like, I want my house to smell really nice, and it is the Glade Exotic Tropical Blossoms 3-wick candle, and it smells like a vacation. That's the best way that I can probably describe it, because it does have different fragrance notes. It has vanilla, it has coconut milk, it has Manoi blossoms, and all of those notes really remind me of just being on a vacation. Whenever I just want to sit down and relax, like, I want to be in a room that smells really great. And the best part is that they really do fill up a room quickly with fragrance with the 3-wick candles. So those are my favorite. I also like to use them for decoration. Obviously, when you decorate a space, I always think of like putting a cute candle by there, and it just looks really nice. I'm going to share with you guys how I'm going to use a candle and decorate it within this space, because like I said, I love reaching for a candle anytime that I decorate like a nice little area. When we first moved into this house about 2.5, almost 3 years ago, I fell in love with every single room in this house, and I wanted to decorate everything. But of course, when you move into a new place, it's really hard to get everything perfect in the way that you want it, but I still felt a lot of pressure to get things done. So I did focus on other areas in the house, and I feel like that one was one of the last spaces that we decorated, because it is our formal living room. And for a really long time, it just sat empty. And when people would come over, it was literally just an empty space, and it felt so cold and it felt so uninviting. And so I really wanted to make that space look really cozy. I wanted it to look really beautiful, and I really wanted a space where I can go and just kind of relax and feel like I'm in my own little like cozy area, if that makes sense, like pretty much like a getaway in my house. And so I really wanted it to stand out, and I wanted it to look beautiful, but I didn't know how to. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us are in that same spot where we're like, where do we even begin? Where do we start? The first thing that I like to do when I start decorating any room in our house is I think about the color palette. If you can think about the color palette, like what furniture color is going to be, the colors of the walls and the color of the flooring, then that's a really great start, because then you can kind of imagine what goes in there, and then you can start shopping for the things that you need. And for that room, I noticed that it was really dark. We don't have any lighting in that room. The only thing that you could really do is connect a lamp to an outlet, and it will light up the room at night. In the morning, it's really bright and beautiful, and during the day, but at night it just really looks so dark, like too dark almost. And I did not like the colors on the walls, but I didn't know how to separate that from our main living room, which is where we have the fireplace, where we have our television, and we have like our couches, because there is no divider between the formal living room and then the living room. And what I had envisioned for that room is for in the future to become a playroom. We have been wanting to expand our family for a really, really long time, and I'm currently pregnant, so we are expecting our first baby. And so what I really wanted to do in that room was either save it for later and have its own area where it could be a playroom, but then I thought that is the first room that when you come in that you see. I don't want you to be able to see all of the mess. And we didn't know it was going to take us so long to start our family. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to start at least on the walls and then the furniture, and then if we convert it into something else, that will be great. So that's what we did. We started with the walls. I really wanted to brighten up that room. Since we have hardwood flooring and we were not thinking about changing the flooring, the first thing that I decided to focus on were the walls and a paint color. I wanted to really brighten up the space and I wanted it to be white, but Ricardo was just like, really white? Like, it's just gonna look so bland and so boring. And I was like, you're right. So I did some more research, and something that I've always wanted in my home, always, like always since I was like a little kid, was wainscoting. There's something about wainscoting that just makes the space look so luxurious and just gives it so much dimension, but you have to do it right. You have to be able to not make the space looks smaller than it is, because once you start adding texture to the walls, the space looks smaller. And it's already a pretty small space compared to the rest of the house. So I was like, if I put up white walls and I put up wainscoting and I make it where the squares are like bigger, then I can do that. Now it took me a while to find someone to do this because they either quoted me such a crazy amount of money because I only wanted one room and there wasn't enough in order for it to be worth their time, if that makes sense. Or they would literally just tell me find someone else because this isn't a big enough job. And I was very surprised to hear that. Luckily, my dad is an electrician and he works with a lot of carpenters and a lot of people in construction, and so he was able to get someone that he works with to come out here and spend the entire weekend doing it. So in 2 weekends, they were able to put up the wainscoting and also paint it, and that made such a huge dramatic difference. It looks so beautiful, and I didn't realize how tedious it is to put up wainscoting because you're literally just measuring a bunch of little sticks, and just seeing like the progress of that like made me so excited. But then I was able to understand why some people were like, find somebody else to do this for you, because it's only one room and it's a lot of work for just one room, and it's not worth it unless you're doing like the whole house. I loved it so much that we also decided to do the stairwell because I had no idea what to put on the stairs. Like, I didn't want a huge painting on there. I didn't want it to be so crazy where it was just like the focal point instead of like the fireplace that we had. And so I was like, you know what? I also want to put it on the stairwell and bring that to life a little. We still need to finish some things on the stairs, especially when it comes to like the railing. We want to change that up, but that's for another time. I at least wanted to bring it slowly into that hallway to also brighten it up, because that color was so dark before and it looked really outdated. And so it brought a lot of dimension into like the stairs as well. And then the way that the carpenter actually told me that he was going to divide the rooms was just to add, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's like the framing or the base around where the staircase was and the living room and the formal living room. That way it would divide them, and he was able to do that really easily. I didn't even know that was an option because I questioned whether we could paint it or not. I'm like, I don't even know if we can paint this, but through his opinion and through his advice, that's what he told me, and we did that, and it looks really great. I will say that Ricardo fought me on this the whole time. He was like, Belinda, it's not gonna look good. White walls, it looks too bland. Wainscoting sounds kind of ridiculous. And I was like, just trust me, just trust me. I'm like, just let me do it. He was like, okay. He's like, I'll let you do it. That's always our conversation when it comes to anything in our house. He's always like, I don't know how that's gonna look. I just don't think that he has the vision for it the way that I explain it unless I give him an example of it. If I'm like, look, this is what it's going to look like at the end, then he's like, okay, that's a good idea. But if I'm just like throwing ideas out there, he's like, I don't know, but he ended up loving it. And I love that he was so like proud of it too. He was like, wow, we really did something really big to the house. And it's like without any furniture on, it looks so much better. And I thought it definitely looked very Pinteresty and really beautiful. And so after that, we waited a really long time to pick out furniture because, like I said, I didn't know what I wanted that room to become. But eventually I was like, you know what, I just wanted to be my own little escape, my own little getaway, and I wanted to look beautiful for the time being. And this was before I was pregnant, so I was like, let's just get some couches in there. Let's, you know, make it look really good. And then I picked my dream couches, which I love tufting. I love like the nail studs that are on the couches. I love light furniture. I just think it makes the whole room look so neutral and nice, and then you can pick an accent color later on and add it to that. And I feel like that's the majority of what you see now, is a lot of neutral colors and then a pop of color. And if you're crazy about colors, you could start with a bunch of different colors, but for me, I really love neutral, calm colors. Since my dad is an electrician, I wanted to also incorporate some kind of lighting inside of the room, which I feel like I'm really lucky that my dad does work in that industry, because if I wanted something crazy, he would find a way to do it. When it came to lighting, I didn't really know what to do with the space because I didn't want to have to depend on just lamps, because I wanted something different. I wanted something to really stand out. I wanted to get canvases on the walls, but because you walk through there at night, I wanted to just be able to have some kind of dim light on the walls that you didn't feel obligated to have to turn off, like a whole lamp. And so if we had company over, they could walk through the entryway and they could see like some kind of night light in that room. And so I asked my dad to put up, they're called like canvas lighting. Super bright and beautiful in here, and I love these lights right here. They're called like painting or canvas lights, which they illuminate, you know, like a specific area in the wall instead of like giving light to the entire wall. It's more of like accent lighting. So I really love how it looks, and at night it just looks so awesome. I honestly felt like Joanna Gaines. Like, I felt so cool doing this living room because I sketched out the wainscoting and I also sketched out where I wanted those lights to be. They were never there before, and so my dad, he went ahead and he put them up. He's like, is this what you want? I'm like, yes, it looks great. I absolutely love it. Once we had the walls painted, the wainscoting on the walls, the lights, the furniture, now I was like, okay, here is like the fun part. Like, let's decorate. What am I gonna do? And the best part about it is that because I do have such neutral colors, I can change the color every season if I want. I can put different decorative pillows. I could put different paintings or canvases on the wall if I want. Like, I could just do all kinds of things. I love rotating my cushions or my blankets from room to room, or my decorations, and I think that's the best part about decorating. You don't have to spend a lot of money decorating a space if you don't want to. Shop around your house. I've told you guys this before. If you guys see a picture frame that you like and it's an older picture, it's okay to put another picture on top of that and put it in a different room, and then you could just switch it out. There's pictures that I can't touch, but there's some that I can. And then I will go ahead and get like different flower arrangements, and I will get my own vases and I'll make my own flower arrangements. Alright, so now let me share with you guys how it all turned out. This is what you first see when you walk in the house, and I love it. I feel like it's very inviting, and it's no longer an empty area where it feels cold and dark. And I love how everything just looks so bright and it matches because of all of the neutral shades. So over here we have this little bench where you can actually just sit down, take off your shoes, and enjoy the space. And then I wanted to make sure to incorporate some kind of decor in a corner where it was minimal, but it also stood out and just looked really good. And so I made my own little arrangement here, and of course I put this beautiful candle right next to it. It is the Glade Exotic Tropical Blossoms 3-wick candle, and it really fills up the room with a lovely fragrance that reminds me of the beach. So when I'm sitting here in this room, I can relax and I can imagine myself being on vacation. And then over here in this corner, I decided to put a mirror there. I brought it from upstairs along with the plant and the cushion. I literally shopped inside of my house and everything I already owned, so I didn't have to go out and buy anything new. And I really love this blanket. I love that it has like the different texture and everything is neutral, so everything combined together and it looks so good. I love how it turned out. I also love this plant, especially because of the texture that is on the pot. When it comes to neutral colors, I always make sure to put things together similar in color but also have different textures because it really makes it stand out. On the floor, I just have this little poof ball that I got from our guest room, and I love that it incorporated some of that gold that you saw in the bar cart, so that way those two combined and complemented one another. And then we wanted to brighten up the floor since it is so dark, and so I've had this rug for a really long time and I just brought it out. I have also had these canvases for a while now. They were on clearance, super inexpensive, and what really drew me to these canvases was just also the neutral colors and the borders. And then on top we have those gorgeous lights that contrast against the wall, and I decided to do the same type of hardware on the curtain rods. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys in my next one. Muchos besos. Mwah.